Ba-da-da-da-da. Welcome to our podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, let me know when you're ready and we can start right away.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Hello all and welcome to Luba and Erica's first and only ever podcast.
And we are your hosts, Luba and Erica.
Yes, that we are. So, today, so we're in the same communications class. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned about a lot of different theories, but one that really stuck with us was cultivation theory.
Mm-hmm.
And we really like it. We think it can be used to analyze and explain a lot of different things. And we kind of wanted to explore it a little further, but in a way that, like with an example that is a little more modern, easy to understand, and something that is affecting a lot of people in our like demographic, I think, right?
Yeah, something that's more relevant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start by talking a little bit about like what cultivation theory is, and then we will go into our example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is cultivation theory?
Well, it all starts with a Hungarian man.
Oh, yeah, George Gerbner, who is a communications professor. And I believe he founded this theory in the 1960s after being dissatisfied with past research on media effects. And so the whole basis of cultivation theory is on the effects of TV and how it impacts the mind over time. And so he was just basically unsatisfied, and he felt like past research, such as Cantrell's radio study on mass panic, as well as Laswell's and Wortham's study on, as well as Laswell and Wortham's study on propaganda wasn't as thorough enough, and so he came up with cultivation theory.
Yeah, and so cultivation theory is primarily used with television. So the base definition of what it is and what it believes is that media, more specifically television, but we're going to explore different forms of media because we think it could be applied to more than just TV. But that media can have long-lasting effects on its consumers and how its consumers then view and behave in the world.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and so to understand cultivation theory, we need to understand media effects.
Mm-hmm.
So there are 4 different kinds of media effects. There are direct media effects. And then there are the conditional media effects and the cumulative media effects, and then the transactional / cognitive media effects.
Mm-hmm.
And so the one that really relates to cultivation theory is the cumulative effects. And so it's seeing this form of media all the time and it really being ingrained in your brain and starting to believe that like everything you see on social media, everything you see on TV, everything you see or hear in media is all real life.
Exactly.
And that's how it is in the real life. And so that's what cultivation theory is at its baseline.
Mm-hmm. And with cultivation theory, there are also the 3 types of analysis related, such as the institutional process analysis, which really analyzes the power dynamics and who creates and distributes these messages, as well as the message system analysis, which really analyzes the content within the media and how it impacts the mind, as well as the cultivation analysis, which will be the main one that we'll be focusing on today, which really analyzes the relationship between how much time is spent consuming a certain media and how it then impacts the audience.
Yeah, and something that can be like brought back to us and our time here at university and as women is you see all these TikToks and all these beautiful women on social media and they're so popular. They have so many followers, so many likes, so many comments, and they're also thin.
Yeah.
And then after seeing this so often and it being drilled in your mind that famous, beautiful, appreciated people are thin, you start to believe that you can only be beautiful and appreciated if you're thin.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like diet culture especially is so ingrained in our minds with so much videos and stuff that we see. Like, I don't know about you, but on my TikTok, I see a lot of videos about people showing what they eat in a day.
Yeah.
And it usually depicts them eating very healthy foods, but also foods that tend to be low in calories.
Yeah, like they're always very whole foods. They're never eating junk. It never adds up to enough calories. And you see that and you immediately compare yourself with direct effects.
Yes.
You immediately compare yourself and you go, well, I eat way junkier food than that, way unhealthier food than that, or I don't do yoga every morning.
Yeah, but that's realistic, you know? Like, who gets up every morning
Nobody.
and does yoga and eats fruits and smoothie bowls? Like, no.
Yeah, and you cannot sustain yourself off a smoothie bowl for breakfast and that's it.
Yeah.
That's not normal. But then you see it so often and you start thinking that it is normal and that what you're doing is abnormal.
Exactly.
And so it brings you into these like eating disordered habits and thoughts, right? Yeah.
And I feel like especially with the algorithm too, in terms of TikTok and what you see, if you watch one video, it just recommends you more videos like that.
Yeah, so one critique of cultivation theory is the phenomenistic theory. I think that's what it's called. And it believes that media has little to no effect on its consumers, and that everything that media does do, it's just that it enables pre-existing beliefs or behaviors. So let's say if you already come from a background where you were shamed all your life about your body, you might start to think that thin people are more beautiful or successful regardless of what media says. But then that being immersed in media all the time like enhances this, which I think it's all very subjective, conditional to the situation, the person.
Definitely like predisposed mental conditions, and I feel like definitely people who already struggle with an eating disorder, that only gets reinforced by the type of media that they consume.
Yeah, but that was a great conversation on cultivation theory and media effects and just defining it and critiques of it.
Of course. And really just seeing how it relates to an issue that's so prevalent right now.
Yeah, and we hope that you were able to learn a little more about communication theories like cultivation theory, and that you can start analyzing things through this perspective and this theory.
Of course.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you so much for listening.
Have a lovely rest of your day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.